So your business involves some serious cleaning, right? Maybe you're in auto detailing, maybe industrial manufacturing. You've probably heard the buzz about dry ice blasting. But what does it actually cost to get one of these high-tech machines for your own shop? Well, let's dive in and pull back the curtain on the real price and the incredible value of investing in one. And you know what? It really does. I mean, the whole idea of blasting away years of grime with frozen carbon dioxide, it feels like something from the future. But this isn't sci-fi. It's real-world tech that businesses are using right now to work faster, safer, and way more efficiently. So how does this magic actually work? Turns out it all comes down to one really cool scientific principle. And that secret is sublimation. It's a simple idea. Unlike regular ice that melts into a puddle of water, dry ice just disappears. It turns straight from a solid into a gas. And that super fast expansion creates this tiny but powerful shock wave. That's what does the cleaning. It literally lifts the gunk off a surface without leaving a drop of moisture behind. It's the whole reason this method is so powerful and, well, clean.
Okay, so let's get into the nuts and bolts of it. We're going to pull back the curtain and see what's actually happening when you pull the trigger on that blasting gun. You might be surprised at how simple the process is, especially considering the incredible results it delivers. It's really just a 3-step powerhouse. Here we go, broken down into 3 easy steps. First, the machine uses compressed air to shoot these tiny dry ice pellets at incredible speeds. We're talking really, really fast. Step 2, those pellets hit the surface and, poof, they sublimate instantly, turning from solid to gas in a flash. And third, that rapid expansion of gas creates that mini shockwave we talked about. It gets underneath the grime and lifts it right off. And here's the key. It's not the impact that cleans, it's the expansion. No scratching, no pitting, just pure lift. So understanding the science is cool and all, but if you're a business owner, you're asking the real question. What's in it for me? Why should I pick this over the methods I'm already using? Well, the answers go straight to your bottom line. Let's break down the top 3 benefits right now. First up, and this is a big one, it is completely non-abrasive. Just think about that for a second. You can clean super sensitive, super expensive equipment. We're talking delicate molds, complex electronics, even the engine bay of a classic car without leaving a single scratch or mark. You're not just cleaning your assets, you're preserving their value and extending their life. Benefit number 2, it's incredibly eco-friendly. And in today's world, with all the environmental rules and regulations, this is a huge deal. You're not using harsh chemicals. There are no solvents to dispose of. There's no contaminated water runoffs to deal with. The cleaning agent itself, the CO2, just goes right back into the atmosphere where it came from. It's a green solution that also happens to be seriously powerful. And this brings us to benefit number 3, which is a real game changer for efficiency. Absolutely no secondary waste. I mean, think about sandblasting. You have to clean up all the sand plus all the gunk you just blasted off. With dry ice, the blasting material just vanishes into thin air. The only thing left to clean up is the contaminant you wanted to get rid of in the first place. That means way less cleanup time, which means less downtime and lower labor costs. Simple as that. Okay, so we've covered the why, the science is cool, the benefits are clear. Now it's time to tackle the big question, the how much. Look, the price for one of these machines isn't one size fits all. It really depends on what you need it for. So let's break down the different investment levels you're likely to see out there. This table lays it out pretty clearly. You can see the market is broken into a few tiers. If you've got a small auto shop or you do restoration work, you can actually get in the game for as low as a few $1,000s. Now, as your needs get bigger, say for commercial or heavy industrial jobs, the price goes up, but so do the power, the features, and the durability. This is a great starting point for you to figure out exactly where your business fits. And this chart gives you an even better idea of how those tiers play out in the real world. For automotive detailing, you can see the price lines up perfectly with that entry-level range. But then you look at something like mold remediation or big industrial jobs, and the range gets much wider. That just reflects how different the jobs can be and the different machine capabilities you might need. It's a good way to benchmark what other people in your field are likely spending. So what's really the difference between a $5,000 machine and a $50,000 machine? It's not just about more power. There are a few key factors that go into that final price time, and understanding what they are is absolutely crucial if you want to make a smart purchase. Here are the 4 big things you're paying for. First, brand reputation. A big name often comes with a higher price, but also a history of reliability.
Then you've got the fancy features, like digital touchscreen controls that add precision but also cost. Third, accessories. The nozzle kits and hoses you need for your specific jobs can add up. And finally, the warranty and support package. Higher-end models usually come with better support. The key takeaway here, you've got to look at the whole package, not just the sticker price. All right, but hold on. Before you go swipe in the company card, there's one more huge decision you need to make. Are you going to buy this thing outright, or does it make more sense to rent one when you need it? This is a really important financial crossroads, and the right answer depends entirely on how often you're actually going to use it.
Let's just break it down side by side. Renting is fantastic. It's got a low upfront cost. It's perfect if you just have a single job to do, or if you just want to try the tech out to see if it's right for you. Plus, you don't have to worry about maintenance. But, and this is a big but, if you know you're going to be using this technology on a regular basis, buying is almost always the smarter long-term move. You get way better return on your investment, and you can get the exact machine and accessories for your specific needs. And if you want a really simple, powerful rule of thumb, here it is. Just remember this number, 10. If you think you're going to need a dry ice blaster more than 10 times in 1 year, the math usually shows that buying the machine is going to save you money in the long run. It's a really clear, easy way to help you make that call. You know, a smart investment is never just about that initial price tag. To really understand the financials and the true value, you have to look at the total cost of ownership over the entire life of the machine. So let's get into those long-term numbers. There are really 3 main ongoing costs you need to plan for. First, obviously, is the dry ice itself. You can expect to pay somewhere between 30 and 70 cents a pound. Second, you'll want to budget a few $100 a year for servicing, just to keep it running perfectly. And finally, some parts, like nozzles and hoses, will wear out over time and need to be replaced. When you factor these things in, you get a much clearer picture of the real long-term cost. But let's talk about the fun part of the investment, the return. And these numbers from real businesses are just incredible. Check this out. A detailing shop was able to pay for its machine completely in under 6 months just by offering new services. And a factory saved over $20,000 in a single year from reduced labor costs and less downtime. When you see numbers like that, the initial investment starts to look pretty darn reasonable. So there you have it. We've covered how it works, the huge benefits, the different price tiers, and the long-term value. You've got all the data. So now, the only question left is the one right here on the screen. Is this the investment that's going to transform your business? Is this the tool that takes your efficiency, your quality, and your profits to a whole new level? Well, that's for you to decide.